Let's get this party started. Just using some sage, white sage to cleanse, but also protect. I know I'm going to let some people get in before I start pulling cards, but it's Tuesday, it's cold. It's like sunny out and I'm grateful for it, but it's still cold, right? It's still winter. So I was like, let me sit down on the couch today since we don't have any scheduled readers and pull some cards. I wanted to use some decks that I personally don't use, that I'm not really familiar with, just to kind of challenge myself, but to also see if any of the messages resonate with things that I usually pull for myself or things that I usually pull for other people. So I'm going to keep lighting some sage and Palo Santo, because that's just what I do. I'll give everybody a minute to come in before we start to pull any cards. And yeah, we're just going to hang for this Tuesday. We're going to let whatever is supposed to be. We're going to let whatever message is coming through be received, and have a great day. And this was the Palo Santo with cedar and the orange peel. We've been burning so much of it that you can barely even tell what it was, but that's definitely what it was. Cedar and orange peel for abundance, for clarity. I'm pretty sure cedar and sandalwood are often used to bring lost souls back towards grounding. So definitely the idea of like walking in your path, walking in your truth. That orange peel is for abundance and also removing negativity, cleansing. And then Palo Santo, my favorite, is all about consecrating a space, making sure that things are high vibes, good vibrations, intentions are being set, but also protected and honored. So I know it's a slow day, so I'm going to start off with the Guides of the Hidden Realms deck. Like I said, I've never used any of the decks that I pulled for today. I'm going to use 3 different ones, but I want to use like an actual spread of this Oracle deck because honestly, when I was going through Chrissy's collection, I just saw this beautiful little moon face, and it kind of reminded me of like a new moon, how we don't technically, right, see the reflection of the moon in the sky, but like it's still a phase of the moon, and that, I don't know, it just reminded me of it. So we're going to pull. I'm going to leave it right there for now. Let it sneak in next to the lapis. But for anybody that does join us, I'm going to offer this reading up to you as a message for the collective. I hope that it resonates. I hope that we get some guidance. Also, too, just like welcoming in like insight, any kind of awareness that we're looking for, too. We have the Lunar New Year and the New Moon all happening this week, so there's a lot of beautiful energy to tap into. And I know it's technically tomorrow into Thursday, but like it's Tuesday, why not start today? I see that there is like 2 or 3 people on the live. If you are, give me something in the comments, in the chat. Let me know how we're feeling. An emoji. Let me know where you're watching from. Are you home? Are we at work? Please don't be driving. If you are, listen to it like it's an audiobook and a podcast. But as I mentioned, I'm going to pull 3 cards from the Guides of the Hidden Realms deck. And we'll just see what's happening today. Definitely this one. It's like peeking out at me. 2. And this is 3. Alrighty, so first off, let's just talk about the colors of this spread. A lot of blues happening, which I think makes sense for the fact that we're moving into Aquarius season, so a lot of air, throat chakra, third eye energy happening. But yes, let's talk about these cards. that we pulled. So first and foremost, did we see the butterflies? It could be projecting from me because I love butterflies, but it's saying a call to transformation. Metamorphosis is in the in-between, change is on the horizon. So a lot of, like I said, throat chakra energy happening here, but I feel like those butterflies are also letting it be known of like any creative projects that we have that we kind of like put blinders on to, like, oh, I've been doing these things, and then I'm kind of like, I don't want to look at the projects that I've been like letting linger. I would say tap back into them. In the in-between moments of change and transformation, I think it's also good to do things that feel creative, that feel within our control, because sometimes, right, when things happen in the world around us, it's like, it can be overwhelming when it's not in our control. So maybe channel that into things where we can be creative and like have a tangible effect on what's happening in our life. But a lot of deep abundance coming from expressing ourselves. Let there be no no confusion around the fact that this is all about expressing ourselves through and through. It's funny, it reminds me of this like turquoise stone that I picked out here. Even some of the like orangey kind of tones that are in it are represented in that too. So tap into turquoise energy, divine wisdom and communication. I really love that. I love butterflies, so I love that came out. Our next card that we pulled has some of those similar blue tones, but also, right, that green, this lovely solar plexus energy that's happening here. A great card. I love the eye. It's almost like an evil eye. But it says to focus on the brilliance, focusing your attention, prioritizing, and also persevering. So I think that makes sense, right? Tapping into the heart chakra, into the solar plexus and throat. This gives me labradorite vibes. I think I have labradorite in my pocket. I do. It gives me labradorite kind of vibe, right? Like blues and greens, and sometimes there's some like yellow pieces in there, but definitely the idea of solar plexus, setting goals, but also using our willpower to then achieve them. Being clear about what those goals are, heart chakra, following our heart's desires when we're being called to do things. Yes, I have a calling, but I need to tap into that solar plexus of like, what do I want to do with that calling? Do I want to set a goal? Am I trying to release or let go? Like being clear about that. And then throat chakra and third eye energy giving you that like focus. This is the priority. This is what I'm doing. If things aren't going my way, I'm going to persevere because I have an end goal that I already set for myself. I have the intention already there. The card for this, the number for this is 2 energy. So also to the idea of just like making choices. I think that's maybe why it's saying focus on the brilliance. If we're not making certain decisions, we can sometimes be overlooking the abundance that's available to us. We can overlook a gratitude or a sense of gratitude that we could or should have around certain things. So definitely the idea of putting our blinders on, focus on what matters to us, focus what's already working and what's already in momentum for us. But also too, just tapping back into that like heart chakra energy, that heart's desires and solar plexus. Labradorite is sometimes called the stone of magic. It's really great for setting boundaries too, so maybe that's why I keep saying blinders. Maybe we need to set some boundaries around our goals so that when our heart chakra is overwhelmed or when we're not sure how to express ourselves, that boundary within, right, our core, what's moving us, what our goals are, is protected. So yeah, maybe set some boundaries too. And this last card that I pulled, again, right, that spread, this is the last one. The colors are definitely saying Aquarius, they're saying throat chakra and third eye. This last card here, it's saying that there is another chance to be. I'm going to let that simmer there for a second. Another chance to be. There is second chances happening, emotional healing, reclamation of truth, and rebirth. I don't know about you, but this one is giving lapis, especially with the eyes there too. Definitely lapis. And it's cute because it has some octopus on it. So it makes me feel like that rebirth that's happening is also like allowing us to know that we're multifaceted, multidimensional. We have multiple ways for us to engage with the world around us, but we also have multiple streams of opportunities, multiple areas for us to tap into community, to friends, to family, reclaiming that work-life balance, right? Like if we're expressing ourselves freely at work and not at home, or vice versa, it's allowing us to kind of reconfigure that in this moment. The emotional healing, I feel like, comes from that third eye situation where it says there's another chance to be, having the wisdom of when it's time to let go of situations that we don't need to like replay in our minds, but also to the awareness of the fact that we're protected. So certain creative projects that I may want to initiate or have, and then I'm revisiting, certain goals that I'm setting, certain things that my heart feels called to, there's a certain level of awareness to know that we're protected. And it's giving us that rebirth feeling, right? Like if it's feeling overwhelming and we're feeling burnt out, it's that phoenix kind of energy as well, that like from the ashes we rise. I just love I feel like also too, what I want to say about this is that I pulled them in sequence, so I'm going to try to hold them together. Like doing the things in this first card is going to allow us to feel a lot more grounded and centered, and then it takes us to that next chakra up, right? So there's like solar plexus and sacral plexus energy around the throat chakra. It's going to make us feel more whole and grounded in our solar plexus, through our heart's desires, through how we're communicating. And then it leads us to that third eye and then some of that purple crown chakra energy as well. So a lot of the upper chakras are being tapped into in this moment, or also to just being reminded that like we need to trust spirit, allow ourselves to be a channel of universal energy, using our insight and intuition, using the wisdom that we have, right? Wisdom isn't helping anybody or yourself if it's just sitting there. We're trying to now use it, channel it into some kind of outlet, whether that's tangible or intangible, just some kind of expression is definitely being called to in these cards. And the energy for this card is a 9. Which I feel like is very fitting for this year, the fact that 2025 is also a 9. So a lot of completing cycles, it makes sense, right? Like it says rebirth. So we're completing cycles of behavior. I always say this to everybody, and like I was just talking about this to Abby like last week I always say I prioritize full circles over cycles. That full circle energy requires some kind of death, loss, grieving. There has to be a release. Cycles, on the other hand, are very repetitive. Not much growth, not much room for change or any kind of like revelation to happen or reflection. It's just ongoing. But that full circle, right, circle of life energy is that there is an opportunity for rebirth. So that 9 is definitely calling in of completing certain cycles, right? In these cards we talked about maybe letting go of certain things or completing certain projects and goals we set. And by doing so, we have another chance to be. There's a lot of emotional healing that's through that process, and as a result of it too, there's a lot of abundance that leads to rebirth, and that can also lead to second chances. Or I don't even want to say second chances, but I feel like more opportunities. Like if you're looking for more, if it's a new job, a new place to travel, whatever it is, like completing the things that you already set out to do will lead to more and will lead to you feeling a lot more spiritually in tune, but also like aware of the abundance that's around you and within you. It's within you. I really love these cards. I also just had a clarifier pop out. I put it to the side when I was shuffling these, but I think it's really really beautiful because it's the first kind of lower chakra energy that we have in the cards in this spread. I'm going to let that sit for a second before I read it. But it's saying here that the true source of power, there is integrity, divine will, and divine grounding that's happening. And then it also says trusting power versus force. That's really, woo! Also, too, the energy for this card, number-wise, is a 9. So let's just bring it back real quick. Bring back the spread. Using our outlets to express ourselves creatively, tapping into things that we're creating our own reality. We're able to take control over the things that we can, right? Accepting what we can control and letting go of the things that we can't. Setting clear boundaries about what our goals are, making clear prioritized list. I'm a list person. I need like notes, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Being clear about our boundaries of what we're putting our actions into, following our heart's desires, but also trusting our expression and our insight that we're gaining. Using all of that insight and intuition that we gained to release, but also trust, right? Spirit, be guided to be open to more. That 9, completing cycles. It's also happening, but it's allowing us then in the future to feel a lot more grounded in the things that are happening. We're using our inner power to cultivate change. We're using our inner power to manifest, right? Not just like in theory and in concept, but in action. We're using our power to manifest things in action. And it's trusting our power versus force. So sometimes when we don't really act on things that we want or need, we'll try to force things to happen. Like, I'm going to force this new opportunity. I'm going to force myself to rush and speed on the highway to get to this place on time. And we're not really trusting our power. We're also not allowing ourselves to be divinely guided. So in doing so, the cards we talked about already, we'll feel a lot more grounded in our universal life force energy, that root chakra, sacral plexus, solar plexus energy. And it's allowing us to then complete those more, I want to say like, right, upper chakra kind of cycles that we're trying to complete. It leads to new opportunities from the root. So feeling more stable, more secure, more confident, more creative in the way that we move about the world. It'll feel a lot more tangible if we just prioritize the things that are in our mind, right? All of these things that, this card, all the things that are in our mind that are just kind of like bubbling and going in every direction. If we can really channel that, set those boundaries, set things into action, trust and release, it'll allow us to feel a lot more grounded, and then we'll see it tangibly reflected in the world around us. And also too, the way that we engage, like root chakra is all about how we engage with family, with community, with ourselves, with the resources that we have at our disposal. Another fun thing that I think is really cool, in the hair, right? There's a little dragon. I'm going to say it's a dragon or a phoenix. I talked about a phoenix, so I'm going to say it's a phoenix dragon kind of vibe. But I really love that because, right, that's like a result of that rebirth is then standing and owning our power and walking in it. And like, there's no denying that dragons and phoenix hold power. So if there's any kind of insecurity, any of that that's been lingering on, in doing so, right, in doing so, we're able then to be fully walking in that with no hesitation and no doubt about it. I do agree with you. Definitely distracted by the lapis. I mean, all of these, if I'm just going to say it, selfish plug, all of these stones right here are for sale. They're from the store. I just wanted to use some of them for the reading, but also just to send some good vibes out through the screen. So yeah, this lapis is gorgeous. And it's really heavy too, honestly. But yeah, it's gorgeous. That piece there, that lapis, almost like eyeball looking. It's beautiful. That's something special. But yeah, what a great spread. I really love that. I hope that resonates with anybody watching. Like I said, if you are watching, send a little message in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from, how your day's going, what's on your mind. Let me know if any of these cards in particular, or anything at all, has been resonating. I really love this. I'm going to light some Palo Santo before I pull the next deck. Give everybody a second to just receive anything that they need to ponder anything that's been said. No, Carrie, it's okay. I'm going to pull some more. We're here all day. We're here all day. I'm going to pull some more. Making some soup. I'm a little jealous. It's a good day for some soup. But again, another beautiful spread. But Carrie P, if you did miss it, basically, in sum, really quickly, oops, that was after. In sum, really quickly, we're going to take charge of all the ideas and things that are in our head and express them through whatever outlet that is in our control. We're going to set boundaries around our goals. We're going to prioritize our actions, right? Using a lot of methodological kind of action, like putting things into place where they need to, but also trusting our heart's desires and using the wisdom that we're learning along the way to then complete cycles, to release fully what it is that we're working on, to trust that things are meant to be released, right? And allow that to then fuel that third eye energy, our wisdom and insight, to then trusting the universe's signs, its guidance, trusting our guardians and guides that are calling on to us. And in doing so, right, in doing those three things, it's then leading to feeling more grounded. It's allowing us to walk and also talk in our power, using our inner power for the highest good and not having to force anything into action. That's kind of this reading in sum. So I'm going to cleanse this deck, and then we'll pull a couple more from some of the other decks. For context, I mentioned that I'm using decks that I don't use on my own personal readings. I wanted to kind of challenge myself, but also use the ones that we have available for sale in the store. That deck that I just pulled from is called Guides of the Hidden Realms. When I saw that like moon face kind of deal, I was just like, oh yeah, we have to use that. But oh, you like the intention board, so definitely be on the lookout for another opportunity to engage with an intention board / sound bath. I don't want to talk about it too much because this isn't a selfish plug, but yeah, be on the lookout for an opportunity for that. That's coming very soon. We're going to cleanse these cards. Yes, I love to hear it. I'm glad that it was received well. So this next deck that we're going to use is called, and it's one of my favorites just because of the name of it, is the Sweet Ass Affirmation Deck number 2. We have 1, 2, and 3 in the store. 2 called out to me today, so that's why we're going to use it. But what I love about it too is in the inside of the box for the deck, it's reminding us that your creative mind is greater than any procrastination, any fear that we have. And they call them, these little guys, insecurity gremlins. Which I love, right? Because I'm a 90s babe. So that gremlins story of something that's so cute and whatever, and we don't feed it the right fuel at the right time, it becomes this monster. What a great analogy there. If we're feeding those cute little ideas the wrong fuel at the wrong time, they can become procrastination, fear, insecurity, doubt, worry, all those things that we try to release. But yes, this deck specifically is for artists, creatives, makers, vendors, anything along those lines, entrepreneurs, people that like to use their creative mind, right, to manifest things around it, which I feel like we all do, but that's the intention specifically for this deck. And it's a good affirmation-based deck to get motivation flowing. It's also, oops, we have one sticking out, so I'm gonna put that to the side. All right, let's pick one here. Okay, this is the one. I'm sorry, another one stuck out. So we have 3 now that just stuck out. So first and foremost Interesting. As I submerge my body in Mother Earth, I heal all of my hurts. I'm going to read, there's like a nice little description of what the card means. I'm going to read it first, and then I'll kind of look at the picture. It says, before concrete jungles, rubber shoes, hospital, delivery rooms, carpet, paint, plastic bottles, and cubicles, your tough-ass ancestors evolved and survived over millions of years in direct connectivity with the earth. They were, and this is really funny, I said they were bare-assed, absorbing antioxidants, vitamins, critical aminos, and dense nutrients through untainted soils, natural water sources, and rejuvenating sunlight. Nature is the ultimate healer physically, mentally, and spiritually. There is a reason why ideas explode, inflammation disappears, and stress retreats when exploring in the outdoors. It says, take off your shoes, grab some bananas, and it's time to monkey around in nature. I love this. I really do. What a fun little deck. This deck always makes me crack up because it just has really funny explanations. But, I mean, it's pretty simple of just getting into nature. For the fact that we're in the middle of winter here in Glendora, New Jersey, it's not very inviting to take my shoes off and go walk around in nature. But I think part of what it's saying is just taking moments for us to ground ourselves in nature. If anybody has any kind of like house plants that they tend to, or little like herb gardens or things like that. I think even too, just like if anybody has pets, I feel like part of taking care of pets is also tapping into the Mother Earth kind of energy. But I like the word that they use, that first sentence there, as I submerge myself, like fully surrendering to the power that this planet holds. Like, yes, releasing. I think I kind of mentioned it, like letting go of the things that are not in our control. I think that's also what this card is saying too, just giving it up to, if you want to call it spirit, God, Mother Earth, giving all of our problems and our hurt up to a higher power, giving it to the ground, giving it to things that are rooted in nature, and just allowing it to do what it does, right? I mentioned it before, that like circle of life energy is that it's going to do what it's going to do, and it does it really well. Like this card says, for centuries, we existed and thrived without a lot of the modern day amenities and technology that we have. So there's a certain power in bringing it back to source, bringing it back to our root, bringing it back to things that were indigenous before we knew, right, Zoom and and everything else that goes along those kind of means. But yeah, definitely that. Tapping into Mother Earth's healing energy, allowing ourselves to release, giving up, surrendering in the sense of not trying to control everything within our healing. Sometimes a lot of it too is just like, can be stressful to really want to prioritize our healing. And I think part of that is just like letting go of it. Finding more natural ways for us to engage with our healing too. Obviously a selfish plug again. Things like crystals. If I don't want to be outside barefoot walking around, I can come into Venus Moon Crystal Warehouse and hold on to pieces of earth in my hands, or wear them, you know, in my on my body, wearing crystal grids, tapping into earth in that way too, especially in the winter. We have bath salts here that are moldavite infused, like using things like that where it's taking pieces of the earth, using it in ways that is a little bit more accessible than being out in the winter. But if you are somebody that isn't afraid of the cold, taking nice walks in the afternoon when it's sunny out like today, even just kind of taking a moment to like allow yourself to soak in some sunlight. Abby, I'm going to use your example. I know Abby and I, sometimes we like to just, if we're in here all day and like we don't have any windows in the store, we like to just walk outside for like a few minutes and just like stare at the sun. Like I'll squint. I don't care if it's going to make me cry or whatever, but I just need to like soak it in. So even that today too is a good example. But yes, submerging our body in Mother Earth and letting it heal all of our hurts. That's the first card we pulled. I see we have some new people joining in, so definitely type in the chat. Let us know how we're feeling, where we're watching from. I'm pulling some cards right now from the Sweet Ass Affirmations deck. We're just chatting. It's Tuesday here at Venus. It's a little cold out, but we're having fun today. So this next card is the frog, which I think is so cute. Oops, and I'm throwing it around. I'm gonna let that sink in before I talk about it. And that might be backwards for you, I'm sorry if it is. But it says, by giving thanks, I initiate abundance, and through generosity, I spread it around. So, it says here that when you give thanks, you attract abundance. Focus on what you have, not what you don't. It's not about how many likes you got on your social media post, but about each individual who took the time to engage with your little creative space. They shared a moment with you, and that is truly beautiful. It's not about the amount of money you still need, but about the ocean of abundance already surrounding you. When you pay attention to what you have, you realize there is always enough and never too little. It says the universe provides, and when you generously give thanks and share your abundance, you spread joy to all areas of your life. The jumping frog, exactly. It's jumping around. I feel like I mentioned abundance in that last spread, did I not? Let me pull up the receipts. I'm gonna keep these out now. Because I did mention it with this. Look, this is what I love. Spirit is bringing alignment. Look at the frog and look at his eyes and tell me it's not that. But definitely that idea of you can only keep what you have by giving it away. Especially the things that were like freely given to you. Like, I'm bringing out the receipts. Like wisdom, like creative ideas, like our heart's desires. They're given to us freely through spirit, through friends, through family, through the things that we engage with throughout the day. So first off, rooting ourselves in gratitude, but then sharing that gratitude. If you need to text a friend today and say I love you, if you need to text your family, your co-workers, whatever, and just let them know that you care about them and you appreciate them, this is a sign to do that. Give generously. Especially in the idea of not expecting anything in return. Giving because you know that you can. There is so much abundance in the idea and the reality of just giving. Like, how grateful am I to be able to give this live today? How grateful am I that I'm able to sit here with all of these beautiful stones and like engage with these cards? There's so much to give. And truly abundance, right, is a chain reaction. So if once I receive abundance and I hold it and I just zip it up and lock it away, it might last for a little bit, but it's not going to propel you, right, sustainably through the future. So once you receive that abundance, once you feel it and know it, use it to the highest good and release it and give generously, because it's a chain reaction. It's going to keep coming around the more that we give generously. It says it right here in the first sentence. When you give thanks, you attract abundance. So let people know you care about them. Send out any kind of text. Call a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Tell them you're thinking about them. Like, just give love, give affirmation, give any kind of clarity that you need to give, because it'll come back to you tenfold. But if we hold on to that and just bottle it up, it doesn't serve anybody, including ourselves. So definitely give. You initiate abundance by giving. It doesn't say the opposite. It doesn't say when I receive abundance, then I give thanks. It does not say that. It says by giving thanks, I initiate abundance. So make sure you're calling your peeps, sending out love in all areas of your life, and then watch what happens. And then come in and talk to me and let me know, oh my gosh, I texted my friend and now we're winning the lottery or whatever, but let me know. I want to know. What a great card. I needed that little frog today, for sure. I see some things in the chat, so I'm just taking a second to read them real quick. Backwards, forward, sideways, all the... Exactly. Exactly. It doesn't matter the direction. The energy is still the same. Are we ready for the next card? Or do we need a second to text our peeps? know, there's 9 people here, 11 people here. So I'm like, are we ready for this next card, or should I wait? Should I pull another clarifier? And for anybody that's new in here, we are pulling cards from this deck here. I keep asking, just let me know where you're watching from, how your day's going, what's on your mind today. Yeah, we're just hanging here at Venus. It's Tuesday. It's a great day. I love you as well. Sharing all the love. That's how it has to be. Amen. Nice. I love it. I love that we're investing in ourselves. I love that we're taking time to even soak in some of the energy that I'm sharing out. I got the crystals here with me. We got clear quartz, turquoise, fluorite, tourmaline, lapis, and ocean jasper all sitting here. This is my labradorite, but I'll share it with you too. I think we're ready for the next card. So let's talk about this, because when I saw this, this is why I needed to pull out the receipts from the first reading. I'm going to let it simmer before I read it. This card here with the koi, the yin-yang energy. I release my urge to force happenings. I surrender to the flow. It's really funny because I know we talked about that with these cards. I know we talked about it, especially this one here where it says power versus force. We're using our actions to manifest things clearly and directly and with intention, and not having to force any kind of outcome because we already initiated the change that we want to see in the world. If that doesn't say the same thing in a different way, I don't know what else to tell you. I release my urge to force happenings. I surrender to the flow. And surrender doesn't need to be passive. Let me be clear about that, because I said surrender a couple times here with this card as well. Surrender doesn't need to be passive. You can actively release. You can actively sit and meditate on what it is that you're trying to let go of, release, to give power to. But yeah, surrendering to your flow. And part of that flow is also like, yes, the trust in the momentum of the actions you already set in place. So if things are feeling a little chaotic and whatever, just trust the fact that you already initiated action. You already had the intention of how things wanted to go or where you wanted to see things end up. Trust that flow. Don't get caught up in all of the nitty-gritty like details if things aren't really going the way you thought. There may be a bigger picture or a bigger blessing for you on the way, so surrender to that flow. Don't try to force any kind of outcome once you already started things. Like, remain true to your vision and your goal, but don't try to force things that aren't really coming with ease. Let's see what this card says. This one's like a really long one, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says to slow down and enjoy something beautiful that's right in front of you. Perhaps that beautiful something in the mirror is a good place to start. When you become the sun, you bypass the clouds, and when you flow like the ocean, you wash out the drought. Oh my God, it says don't try so hard to figure things out. How beautiful. I'm not even going to clarify that one because that's pretty self-explanatory. Release the urge to force anything and surrender to your flow. Slow down. Allow yourself to truly see yourself and hold yourself where you are right in this moment. Appreciate yourself where you're at in this moment. There's already things happening for you. There's already blessings coming on the horizon. There's just a great moment for you to center in on who you are and what it is that you have to be grateful for. And once you know that, don't forget to share it. All right. Let's talk about this last card here from this deck, and then we'll keep it rolling, and I'm going to end this live pretty soon. But the last card here, which, again, I'm grateful that I pulled out the receipts because there's a lot of symmetry between these two. I know it's backwards, so I'll be quick. It says, I love my inner beast, and we hug until we heal. What? Like, tell me, look at that. That is, like, uncanny. The symbolism between these two, the symmetry, like, come on. I love my inner beast, and we hug until we heal. This one we gotta read. Look at the first word. Look, right here. You see it? I know you do. First sentence of this card. Your inner dragon, the chaos, the badness, the insecurities that are inside of your brain are all part of you. But instead of slaying your dragon, what would happen if you loved it? Healing means coming to terms with your inner beast and giving it a sensual, I never want to let you go type of hug. Love it like your life depends on it. When your dragon feels seen and appreciated, it hands over everything it's been hiding. All the darkness you've been so scared of turns into a fire in front of your eyes and lights up the way to a new world. Danger transcends to opportunity, and you can see now who has the true power. Like, look at the word on this. The true source of power. Guys, I have goosebumps. This is really freaking me out. I'm a little speechless. I don't know what to say. I hug my inner beast and I love my inner beast and we hug until we heal. Woo! I mean, that's part of that, right? The inner power versus forcing things. It's like when I allow myself to get anxious or engage in insecurity and fear and doubt, it's something that I want to force things because I'm scared, because I'm moving from a place of insecurity or scarcity or lack. I try to force things to happen. And this one is literally saying, if you love yourself through those moments, right? If you love and use love to transcend that almost like assumed danger that's happening in your mind, right? Going from flight mode into fight mode and trusting your power. It transcends everything. It really does. Like, I know for myself, I have examples that are jumping in my mind that I can like talk about, but just universally speaking, it's really, right? Like Barbara said, it's uncanny, the message between these two. I'm a little speechless, which doesn't happen often, but I'm kind of blown away by that. Allowing ourselves to give love to the areas of our mind that are typically suppressed, that feel dark and heavy and just like, or that may have been toxic in certain times, using love to heal that, allowing ourselves to give trust to areas where we need to feel more secure and stable in our lives, and then watching what happens when we do that. Like it literally says of look who's in charge now, look who's using their inner power and their light to go through. Abby, look at this. It's freaking me out.
And from the peanut gallery, you have to love all the parts of yourself, the inner beast and the stuff you want to acknowledge, as well as the things you don't love so much.
Yes. Look at that. That's freaky. The dragon is in here.
Yeah.
And there's a dragon in the first line on this thing. It says, your inner dragon, your chaos of madness is part of you. Like, it's there. It is right there. It's part of you. You can be beautiful and live in your light, but you have to acknowledge the fact that we all have it. We all have a little dragon just chilling in our brain that's ready to blow shit up. It's right there. Mine's like right back here, but you don't see it, but it's there. I know it's there. And like Abby said, you have to love every part of yourself, truly.
And dark doesn't mean bad.
No.
It just means we don't like it.
No, because part of that, right? We need that. We need that opposite. We can't, like, even just in nature, right? Like, we don't live in 24 hours of daylight. We need the darkness. We need things to go to sleep. We need things to rest and release and, like, simmer down. So I feel like the other part of that is, right, what Abby's saying, like, loving that process of darkness. It doesn't mean negative or bad or any of that. Like, no, we need it. It's necessary.
All right, peanut gallery out.
No, I needed that because I needed someone that's like in here in this physical realm to like just really like, what? Oh my goodness, it's really kind of blowing my mind. And exactly, yes, that part too, the inner child, right? I also love this, and don't don't quote me. I don't know if this is like fully true. But I remember hearing before a story about koi fish. I feel like it was like related to like Japanese culture, but koi fish swimming upstream, and like there was an old legend about koi fish swimming upstream, going to the top of the mountain and becoming a dragon. So I love that too, because the idea of what Barbara is saying, that inner child of like, when we go against the grain, when we learn how to grow through life and follow our path and, you know, bypass things that aren't really meant for us to hold, or bypass things that aren't really meant for us to stop our journey, we become this truly powerful, self-aware, rooted, grounded source of love and power and abundance. So I love that too.
Well, here, now I have to pull one of those.
Oh, goodness.
Because we have this too, because it goes along with what you're saying.
All right. Look, Abby pulled this deck because we're talking about inner child. We have this available in store. But again, uncanny. Look at what the first thing that I see when I open this deck says. It's backwards. It says, your ultimate healing comes from within.
The messages on those cards are scarily accurate.
Like, what? Come on now. All right. I'm going to keep the receipts out from those decks, but we will definitely pull from this one here. And we'll keep it rolling. But yes, anybody that is still watching with us, let us know how we're doing, how we're feeling, and how your Tuesday is going. Let us know what messages are resonating with you or not. That too. I accept that. I welcome that. I can definitely pull from another deck again. Any clarifiers that are necessary or needed. But yes. Okay, you're fine. We're going to pull from this lovely deck here, the Inner Child Oracle, and let's see what the message is. I've never used these either, so we're using all new decks, all decks that we have available in store. So if you like I love the colors and the vivid imagery on these. If you like them, we have that in store. If you're needing some inspiration and affirmation for your creative mind, from this deck that also has like a great story back there. And they're really fun. They curse a lot. I'm from Jersey. I like to curse. I talk like a trucker. This deck is right up my alley. We have that available in store. The sweet-ass affirmation deck 1, 2, and 3. Those are here for you. So we're going to pull from this Inner Child deck. I still have goosebumps from that, so I'm going to light some Palo Santo and take a second just to ground myself. I'm going to take a second to also give some thanks, too, because I saw that frog, and that frog, I'm receiving the messages that I'm saying, too. I don't want to preach things that I don't live by. So I'm going to give some thanks to Venus Moon. We're going to give some thanks to Chrissy for making all of this possible. We're also going to give some thanks to all of the beautiful people that have been checking in and out of this live. The reason why we have such a great message today is because of the fact that you're here with me. I believe that. I know that to be true. I appreciate those of you that are engaging here with us in the chat, sending some fun anecdotes of your day and engaging with the messages as they're coming through. I want to give thanks to the fantastic team at Venus here. It feels like a second home here. Everybody that works here, I truly just love their energy for what they represent. I also just want to give thanks for a great Tuesday. Like, what a blessing. To be surrounded by all these beautiful stones, but to be here on this Tuesday, to be in Glendora, New Jersey, I'm having a ball. Let's see. A hawk is watching through the window. Hold on to the hawk. We'll get there because that's the next deck I pulled. We'll talk about that in a second. But I love that. I love that they're watching. Tell the hawk to join the live too. We want to see them as well. They're welcome here. All right. Let's see what the Inner Child deck has to say. Reminding us that the ultimate healing is coming from within, which I firmly believe, right? Everything that we use here to heal ourselves, whether it's medicine, crystals, cards, Reiki, massage, anything along those lines that we do, they're all just tools and vessels for our healing. But it is true what this says right here. that your ultimate healing comes from within. Oh, I love that. Thanks, Mom, for sending the live over. Sharing the love. Well, sharing it right back to you. Let's see. I'm going to pull 3. I like to pull cards in a sequence of 3, so we'll see what this says. Abby, I love this deck already. I haven't even used the cards yet. I just like the imagery of them.
I do too.
Alrighty. Even too, just like the moon on the back of it, it gives like Venus moon vibes. It gives new moon vibes. So let's see what they have to say. Also, too, you can sit right here on this comfy couch.
All right.
Abby and I are here on this Tuesday. We're sitting on the couch because we were like, we don't have a reader today, so we're going to use the comfy chair while we're here. But let's see what these have to say. Ooh, these are pretty. I had never used these before, so I'm like, wow.
Okay. This goes with exactly what you said.
Yes, absolutely. Also, too, I will use that one as well. So first card that we pulled, it's saying, there is hope ahead. Have courage and take heart, for there is hope. I loved it. These are really beautiful. I'm going to take a second for everybody to get a look at that before we dive into this. But the number energy from this card is an 8, which I love because we talked about 8 energy with this card here. So there is, yes, hope, but abundance ahead. The idea of, right, taking courage, or having courage and then taking heart, for there's hope. There's opportunities, right? Portals, doorways are opening up. Pillars are showing us that there's opportunities ahead, showing us which directions to walk towards. But also, right, when we walk through those doors, we're also releasing and letting go of things as well. So that idea of having courage and taking heart also kind of reminds me of this one here, of being clear about whatever boundaries that we're trying to set, taking action where we need to, trusting our heart's desires, using that wisdom to keep expressing ourselves. But I love that. I love that too, in the sense of like, there's mountains in the background too. We're down here, right? The main figure is down here, but the mountains that are ahead, it's leading us towards higher grounds, towards a higher perspective. But I really feel like that doorway that's happening, it's like allowing us to go towards more, but also at the same time release and kind of close off certain things that we don't need to carry once we get to the next step. Once we're there, those things are behind us. The opportunities that are meant for us, we're already walking our way towards them.
And it's about feeling, how do you feel when that hope is in your heart?
Right.
Are you optimistic about what's coming, or are you looking at it as an unscalable mountain?
Yes.
Because it's not an unscalable mountain.
Mm-mm. No, you better be in it, because look, too, the stars are aligning in your favor. They are literally guiding the light. And kind of what Abby was saying before, like, darkness doesn't need to mean bad, right? The idea of seeing the stars align and like trusting a greater sense of power and light. We wouldn't see the stars if we didn't have darkness. We need that contrast to really show us the things that are like truly a light. If I didn't have the darkness around me, I would just be like, oh my God, everything's lit up. Like, no, we need that to show us clearly what's gonna take us there. That's really beautiful. Thank you for pulling that. I needed these.
The next one goes
yes.
exactly with what you're saying.
And that's right. Barbara said it, uncanny, like this one here, letting go of the past. I'm going to let this sink in before I even, letting go of the past. That's what we're talking about in this one. Can we just talk about the doorway that like is presented here in an idea kind of form, right? It's not fully there. It's not fully physical. It's kind of an idea. It's a feeling. It's a sensation that we have. That doorway is now fully manifested here. We're presented to it. We're ready to turn the knob. We're ready to really walk through. It's now something that we can tangibly see and feel and engage with. And it's saying here, it's time to envision a new story. So I think part of this card here that we talked about earlier resonates with this. There's another chance to be. When you're just about ready to turn that knob and walk through the door, It's saying you need to really like recognize everything that's happening here. You can reclaim your story. You can allow yourself to have that second chance walking through the door. You can go ahead.
You can rewrite your story.
And you better, because part of that too, right? Ultimate healing is coming from within. Part of that is rewriting your story, rewriting things that when you do let go of them, when you do close the door on certain things, it allows you the opportunity to really rewrite your relationship to it, rewrite your reality that you subscribe to around it.
And I have chills. It is the truth.
Yeah, it's true. It really is. Like, and I love too that there's lotus flowers at the bottom, right? The story of the lotus coming from the mud, right? Coming from darkness, coming from things that are typically like seen as undesirable and becoming something that is truly blossoming into true beauty, to true power and light, and like the idea of spiritual purity too. Lotus flowers are also used to represent abundance and rebirth. Right here, rebirth. Like, it's really wild how these are coming together.
You say it so nicely. I would have said, yeah, it's like emerging from the gunk. Like,
And that,
you say
but
it
it's
so
true.
nicely.
It's true. It's really true. Like that idea of you walk past, like especially in Jersey, there are some murky little swamps around here. You walk past and you're like, ew, I don't want to see that. But then you get to spring and you're like, oh my gosh, look at the lilies and the beautiful flowers. It's like, it's part of that. It's part of that natural, right, circle that we need, and we need it deeply. And also too, I'm going to pull out the receipts from this deck because it's making me think about it. What did I say the first word? As I submerge my body in Mother Earth, I heal all hurts. That lotus flower is fully submerged. Without it being fully submerged in the water, in the gunk, in that muddy kind of mess, it wouldn't be the beautiful flower that it is. So we need to really also, like, yes, let go of the past, but also fully, before we even open that door, fully sit and be present in what it is that we're trying to release, what it is that we're trying to walk towards. Like, take a second to be present in your feet and where you're at. Like, because change is happening. It's all around us. There's a lot of energy going around. Like, this is a 3 card. So there is a lot of opportunity for things to build on of what this moment is bringing. But there's a calling now to just be almost like still with what's happening. I really love that.
Yeah, let it happen and appreciate what's happened, because it's a lesson learned, not a failure.
Right. Absolutely. The next card, and I'll definitely talk on the chat in a second, but I want to talk about this last card here that we pulled. It's saying that it is okay to be misunderstood. Like, I already know that I talked about this one too, but I'll give a second. I'll give a second for sure. So this one here is, again, giving us 9 energy. From the first deck, we had 2 9s. Completing cycles, letting go of, right? Letting go of the past, allowing ourselves to trust our heart's desires, be one that we're using our actions to manifest things in our reality, like all of that beautiful stuff that we talked about. But this card, I love this message because it kind of touches on that dragon idea of it's okay to be misunderstood. Externally and internally. Let's talk about it. Internally, I don't need to understand everything that's happening around me. I'm a Libra, I'm an air sign. I need to know everything at all times. What you're thinking, what you're feeling, where am I going? What did I not go to? What am I, like, all of it. I need to know all of it. But I feel like this card is for me or any other air sign right now. We're also, too, going into Aquarius season. It's okay to be misunderstood. I don't need to know everything as it's happening, right? Perception is not always based on truth. Sometimes when I want to know everything in my head, it's not really true. That dragon will lie to me. That dragon in my brain will lie to me all the time. I don't need to know everything that, like, it tells me I need to know. I can shut it up.
I'm an earth sign, so I'm Capricorn, so I need to know why.
Right.
All the time. If you want me to do something, tell me why, and then I can do it.
Right.
And it gets misunderstood. People think, like, well, why does she question everything?
Right.
I'm not questioning in a way where I'm saying this is a bad idea or I don't want to do this. I'm questioning just because it's what I need to understand.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
what people perceive about you may not be based on what's really true about you.
Right. And part of that misunderstanding thing too is just like, if we don't, where's that frog? If we're not like really engaging generously with the world around us too, like part of that misunderstanding can come from people not really knowing what to ask or knowing how to ask certain things. Like that idea of the way people engage with you like isn't a reflection of you, it's a reflection of their own situation. So part of the misunderstanding, I want to say internal and external, is like, I don't need to understand everything that's happening in my life, but also too, I can't expect everybody to understand everything about me either. If I'm not clear in my head, how can I expect Abby to be clear about what I got going on? That misunderstanding, it goes both ways. But the thing that I love about it is that it's all about perception and perspective. The way that we look at certain things, like what's true from this perspective may not be true from that other side. So just taking a moment to really like, again, be acknowledging those things in the present moment, letting go of any kind of patterns of behavior, but then allowing that to be the reality, like accepting things that were wrong, allowing ourselves to apologize or make remedy where it's needed to be, but also too, being aware that there's always room to grow. There's always an opportunity for perception to give us a new kind of insight or awareness. Like we talked about it too with these two cards. That 9 energy of like, part of reclaiming our story is being in that in-between. When you're in the in-between, you can see things with a better lens because you're not at a polar end of it. So that also, I feel like, resonates here with that 9 energy of like, things are completing and it's just calling us to just be more in the in-between. Being comfortable with like, not having to know everything or not having to please everybody, but just being in that in-between space where your actions are serving the highest good, your ideas are leading you towards more, right? There's hope ahead. We're trusting that. We're letting go of the past. It's okay to be misunderstood in that process. Just remain present because that cycle is ending and the full circle moment that we're looking for is coming to us ahead.
And it's okay to be misunderstood in that what other people think about you is really none of your business.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And I love this because this is like one clarifier that came out. A time to remember, but it's saying here to look back on your childhood. So if this reading doesn't really make sense right now, maybe apply it to things that happened before, whether it's recent past or childhood past. What I love about this card that came up is that, right, when we want to feel hope, when we want to feel that inspiration and it feels very intangible, when we allow ourselves to be present and let go of the past, it becomes more of a manifestation. It becomes more physical in our reality. And I love this because that home or that doorway is fully fortified here. It's something that we can then, like, once we do let go of the things and heal and allow ourselves to be misunderstood in the process and change our perspective, it becomes something that's in our past that we can look back on fondly. We can look back on it with, like, a greater sense of love and appreciation, of gratitude and abundance. So it makes a lot of sense. All these cards are coming together really, 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 woo.
Appreciating it for the lesson it was, not the failure you thought it was.
Right. Absolutely that. Absolutely that.
And Paolo and I are here all day.
Yeah, so you better come through. Let's just see what the chat says. Going with the flow, out of the old stuff that's all right down into the new. Yes. Yeah, right? Like, feeling bogged down and allowing ourselves to just, right, like what it said, submerge that in Mother Earth, submerge it in nature, submerge it in things that feel healing, and like also allowing ourselves to submerge within. It can bring things to the surface that we may be aware of, but we also didn't even know that we needed. And
you're going to bloom in the end.
Amen. You better. But we're going to close out with one final little tidbit, and then we're going to end this live. We have a lot of decks here, but all of these are available in the store. You can come play with them before you buy them, but we have them available for you. I guess just like a quick recap, we use the Guides of the Hidden Realms. We also use the Inner Child Oracle deck here. We use the sweet-ass Affirmation deck, number 2. We have 1 and 3 in here as well. And then last but not least, I wanted to use the Divine Feathers. I walked past it and like something about it just screamed pick one. So we're going to pick one. and hope that it resonates with everybody today. I know Carrie on the live had mentioned a hawk. But yeah, I really love that. Let's see. I don't know. I'm going to cheat. We're going to look for the hawk since someone mentioned one. And then we'll also pull an actual card. Alright. Let's shuffle these. We'll pick one for real. And we'll see what it says for the day.
That fits.
I love it. I love it.
You can't make this stuff up.
So Carrie with the hawk watching out the window. We have the hawk here for you. The message that hawk is trying to tell you, it says here, is pay attention. A powerful message is being communicated to you right now. You saw 2 hawks today. Tasia also has a hawk. Pay attention, Tasia. A powerful message is coming to you. When you saw them, what were you doing? Who were you talking to? Where were you going? Like, especially 2. You got 2 messages that are coming to you today. I feel like I want to pull this one.
Hey, Tasia.
I love it. Something about that one just sticks. Wow. Wow. Okay, gross. I'm grossed out. I got goosebumps again.
Me too.
Yeah, okay, we'll pull 3. Let's just actually pick one. I'm sorry, I'm the worst. I can't stop. Let's actually pull. Well, that makes sense. Alrighty. So the deck, or not the deck, the one card that stuck out to me when I was shuffling, of course, is the lovely peacock feather. Why I started to laugh and say that I have goosebumps is that it says, inherent wisdom is emerging at this time. Watch it and ready yourself for rebirth. Ready yourself for rebirth. Wisdom is on its way to you now. Like, did we not say that? I know we did. I'm not even going to clarify it. We're just going to say thank you for the peacock feather. And last but not least, we have the heron. And this one here is saying to let go of convention and follow your own unique path. Did we not say let go at least 100 times in this live?
You did.
Did we not say follow your path, follow your heart's desires, use your action to initiate the change you want to see in the world? This is what this is saying. Let go of convention and follow your own unique path.
Mic drop.
Yeah, that's that on that. I don't have anything else to say. I'm grateful for these decks. Like I said, all these are available in the store for you to purchase, to take home with you. They obviously all have great messages. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I know it's been a lot of people in and out, but thank you for commenting in the chat. If you have time, come see us today. We're both here until 8 o'clock tonight. There's a lot of great events happening throughout the rest of the week and over the weekend. February is on the horizon. We have the lunar new moon happening and Aquarius season, all the great things that are happening. So come check in with Venus. We're here for you, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.